So I was experiencing low back pain with cycling, and really had just not found an adequate solution for it. I tried different modalities, physical therapy, etc., and no matter what I did, it would creep back up. So that's why I came. So I think probably 2, if not 3 rounds of physical therapy that I just sourced through my health plan. So different folks each time, fairly standard, honestly, recommendations from each of them. And, it was mostly, how do I describe it? Pretty low intensity core work on the floor. Honestly, it was the biggest hurdle for me was going out of network, just because that meant the financial burden was on me, and I do have out-of-network benefits, so I was able to process claims through my insurance, which is fine. It takes some legwork to do it. It's not super fun, but I've gotten money back. But let's suppose for a moment I didn't get any money back, which was a possibility when I went into it. For me, what got me over the hump, it was actually pretty easy. I'd gotten to the point where it wasn't like what I was doing wasn't working. And it was a point where, honestly, like if you told me I could push, 10 times what I paid to come here into a bucket and it would solve my problem, I probably would do it, because I don't want to stop cycling. It's what brings me joy. So if I can find a way to do that, it's worth, it's worth a lot to me to do that. And that really is what got me over the hump. Plus the focus on the running and cycling communities. To me, that's kind of the difference between what I've experienced here at Fit and Function versus where I've been elsewhere. There's just, you all know what we're trying to do and the physical movements it takes to do it in a way that even very good physical therapists who are not specialized in that area just don't get. They just don't have the familiarity. The first thing I'll say that was remarkable for me was the time. The time spent, particularly in the first session, it was double, maybe triple what I had as a first session with anybody else. Went really deep into what, exactly was going on in terms of the physical manifestations and what I was here for, but maybe just as importantly, what is it I was trying to do? And because even saying cycling probably doesn't really tell you what you're trying to do, because I go on the green belt and I pedal around versus I'm a cyclocross guy, I'm a downhill mountain bike. The time taken to understand precisely what I was trying to do and what was getting in my way, to me, was the big differentiator. After we got that sort of understanding between us, it was the willingness to actually treat rehab as an athletic endeavor instead of, and this is going to sound bad, a geriatric one, right? I'm not at the point where all I can do is hip bridges, right? And those I'm not gonna do those reliably, but so being able to incorporate physical therapy into a weightlifting regimen that I recognize and I can work into my routine, that to me was really valuable and has helped me stick with the plan, versus having to spend some extra time doing hip bridges at some other time in my day. It just didn't work. So I think we were doing squats by this 3rd session or something like that. So, that's not something you're gonna do at an average physical therapy place. Well, so just out of the box, my back feels better. So, that's what you want, right? And I think the real nut that Ben and Fit and Function have helped me crack is understanding what I can do as I perceive things going I perceive stiffness or pain coming back, I have an understanding, I'm not a physical therapist, but I now have an understanding of the causal mechanisms for why that's happening. And I have an understanding of what is going to work to get that set of muscles or joints or whatever to calm down, and how I can repair it and prepare for activity in a way that it doesn't elicit that pain response. And that's, for me, that's new. I mean, maybe other people got that in their standard session at physical therapy. I didn't. That really is a distinction here. I feel like I've been educated to take care of myself going forward, not just fixed for a time. Well, first of all, I would say, assuming the deal is still on, the first session is radically discounted. So you can come in and have that first long session where you get to assess for yourself whether it's a good fit or not, with relatively low out-of-pocket cost. And so in some ways it's a why not, right? What can it hurt? If you're at the point I was at where the standard fare wasn't working, I think it was, $50 or $60, I don't remember what it was, to do the first session, but it was low enough that it, was worth taking a flyer on. And it was very clear to me by the end of that session that, this was going to be different, and it was worth investing the money to preserve what I love to do, and worth every penny.